Howdy y'all, it's Shannon from Creative Chaos in Tennessee, and today I am back with another Scraps to Embellishment haul. This one is for the main swap, which is called Green with Envy for March. It could be anything green. So, you can have a little bit of green, a lot of green, all green, it doesn't matter, but it has to have green in it. So, I decided to do this super cute cut file from Cadoodlebug Designs. This one is called Clover Gus Peeker. At one point, this was a freebie on there. And I don't know if you can tell, but I did use some like glitter cardstock for some of the clovers and added a little bit of bling, and he is just so cute. So, I actually have two spots for, sorry, I'm still in the squeaky chair. I have two spots for this month, so I have to make 20 because this is a make 10 instead of 4. You make 10 embellishments, mail them in, and you get 10 new ones back. So, I have two spots, so I have to make 20. So, I wanted, for my different teams that I was in, I wanted to make 2 different things. So, the other video will be, I'm going to do the other paper piecing I decided to pick to do. Since these are a little more time consuming, I wanted to separate them and not do them together. Even though they're for the same thing. If that makes sense now that I've run in circles. So, let's just get to it. Pretty much, this is all of the pieces. This one is, it's not hard. This is not a hard one. It's just a little more time consuming because there is so many pieces. And I made it a good size. I like, y'all know I like bigger embellishments. But I think this one is like 4 or 5 inches. Not sure. I think it's around 5-ish. So I just take my Black Soot Distress Oxide. Y'all know this. I like to just use one color for the whole thing. It just makes it easier. And you could totally do, you know, you could totally do different colors or whatever if you wanted to. Do greens on the green and, you know, black or gray on the gray parts and pink on the pink. But I just like to be a one and done type deal. So, I'm going to move some pieces over because this does shed because it's pretty wore out from Pip chewing on it. And I haven't really got any new ones. So I'm just going to lightly ink all of these, all the pieces, all of them are just going to get a little bit of ink. I'm just doing it lightly because I don't want it super dark. I just wanted enough to give it a little definition, dimension. So, and I just used, other than this glitter cardstock, this gray one, it does have a little bit of texture to it. I don't know if you can tell, but this one is a Cricut cardstock. I've told this before, but on Cricut, if you have a monthly subscription that you pay for, every quarter they give you free money on there, pretty much. You're allowed to take it and spend the credit in their store. And I think it's $10. Don't quote me on that. It's been a minute. I actually probably have credit on there. I need to get on there and spend. But I always buy cardstock with mine. I don't know if they still have cardstock because I'm pretty sure they were phasing it out. But it was $5 a pack, and it's free, and you get free shipping with your credit. They send you a discount code in your email. That's where you can check. And pretty much you just go in and pick and select. There's no shipping, so you pretty much just get free product. Just for keeping a Cricut subscription. Which, of course, it don't totally offset the cost, because it's like $10 a month. So, but it's like paying, you know, 20 bucks or whatever. I think that's how much it costs. I'm not sure. And I used to not do the Cricut subscription, because I can put pretty much anything in there, but it is nice just to type in something since they pretty much went all paid now. They used to have a lot of free stuff you could do on there, and then they kind of did away with it just to pretty much get more money from you. So, but it is worth it if you are a Cricut subscriber to go in and get your free credit. I don't know if they still have the cardstock for $5 a pack, but that's what I bought with my credit every time I've used it, and I think I've used it 4 times probably. So, but I noticed a lot of the cardstock was out of stock last time. And then last time, the 12 by 12 was out of stock, but they still had the 12 by 24 sheets of cardstock. So I bought that, and I just cut it in half to make 12 by 12. So I got 2 12 by 12 sheets out of each one. So it was still worth it in my opinion. Okay, and then the tail. And this we don't need to ink it because it's your base piece that you're going to build on. So that saves a little bit of time. Like I said, these are a little more time consuming. You know, I assembly line them when I'm making all of them, because I've made more than these. These are my extras at this point. I've already took out the YouTube giveaway one and my 10 that goes to Ginger for the swap, so these are just some extras. But I like to, when I'm doing them and designing them on my Cricut and I pull it up, I like to fill in my page. So I'll click make it and then see how much room I have left, if I have enough room to like add another one. And I will, or another 2 or whatever, just so I have a full page before it continues to the next, like for the same color. Like I will fill in my paper all I can and get as many as I can so that I feel like I'm not wasting paper. Okay, so we have that done. So there's kind of I like to pull up the picture and refer to it while I'm putting things together. And I did all these last night. I was up till like 2 a.m. doing it. So I might forget what steps I went in, but once I got assembly lining them, you know, I put 4 down at once, put all the same piece down, next piece, etc. And it goes a lot quicker whenever you're doing it that way and you already have everything already cut out. So some of this stuff I do since it's the main swap, you do not have to, you do not have to keep things flat. And with this having a base, you can kind of see to line things up. So it does make it a little bit easier, and if you're referring to the picture, you can kind of see where things go. So this needs to be put down first. And then I put the tail on. And like I said, you can just kind of see and line it up where this goes. And then the rest of it kind of just follows. So then you're just, you know, sticking it down. As long as it's lined up here, it kind of, you know, this is how it has to go. Let's add a little bit more glue since it's on the glitter paper. It don't want to stick really good. Alright, so then next I usually go through and, like I said, I assembly line, so I build the hat. So all the parts, this is going to go on the hat. This is for the hat. This one's for the hat. And this is for the hat. So I'll just pull together all my pieces for the hat and then I'll assemble that next. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space here because my clover's going to go in there. But pretty much I'm just going to line up these pieces. And then with my clover, I wanted to put it on foam tape and pop it up just to give it a little bit of something extra, some dimension. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm just going to partially tuck it up underneath here. Now, I will say this. Since I'm building this off of the base, when you go to glue it down, like right here where it has this little extra edge for the clover, and then right here for the hat, if you don't have it exact, you can always just go and trim it off, because it's not going to matter. It'll be okay. Unless you just need to build. I do this because it's easier for me, and I've done it a lot. So it's easier for me to build it this way, but if you are not familiar with doing these types of cut files, it might be better for you to build each individual piece on the base, just till you get the hang of it. And I just went backwards because this was supposed to actually come next, but that's okay. It's not super glued down yet. We can pull it up a little bit. So if you're looking at the picture, this kind of goes down behind there so that it looks like a fold in the hat. So now the hat's done. Okay, so then what I usually do is the ears. So the ears are multiple pieced, so I like to go in and just go ahead and put them together. And you can just kind of tell how they line up. And you just put that one on there, and this one on here. And then I like to go ahead and put the ears down because they're going to be next on the thing. And of course you can see which one goes where by how you line it up. Now, not all cut files have bases. The other one I chose to do for the bunny, it does not have a base. But I'll show you some little tips and tricks on how to make sure everything's where it needs to be whenever we get to that video. These will probably post. I don't know if I'll post them on the same day or not. I might spread it out on some of my days when I've just been posting on weekends, because that's kind of how it's worked out with all the things I'm in and doing. So I might post these on a weekday when I don't have other videos scheduled. That way each one of them can get their own love, you know, so that they're not lost with a bunch of other videos all being posted at the same time. So the next one is the head, and you can just tell that this is where his little cheek is, so pretty much you're going to line it up. Now, it's going to start looking crazy, and it's going to look like things aren't matching up, they're not lined up, but they are, okay? As long as you're lining up the head with that. So then, you need to put the body in next, before you get the head too far glued down. And it's just going to go over top of all of this other stuff. Okay, so then there's that. Then you're going to put the arms in. Now, this is where a picture comes in handy so that you know which arm goes to what and all that. So this one's going to go on this side. And you would have to refer to the picture to figure some of this out, like if you was just building it, because it's a little crazy. I'll be the first to admit. Some of these things, they don't really make sense. And then this one goes up underneath here and underneath the body, and just tuck it in so that you have a little arm here. Now, like I said, if you're referring to the picture, you'll see what I mean. And even though this is looking a little crazy, you can see it's kind of coming together a little bit. Okay, so then we're going to glue on the hat. It'll be next. And then all I'm going to do is make sure to line up the top with the top. Because like I said, some of those other little bits and pieces, they might not line up exact because of us putting it together without being on the base. And as you can see, there's a little bit of a white trail here. And I will just take my scissors and go in and just clip off the back of this, because I don't need it to build on, because I've already built my hat and it looks fine. So, and the same thing right here on this little part where the clover is supposed to connect. So that's fixed. Alright, so now we're this far along. So then next, I like to put the next clover on. And it's just going to line up right here on this clover. If I can get it right. Okay. And sometimes it takes a little finagling. If it looks like things ain't lining up, just spin your piece a little bit. Because sometimes, you know, it's just, you ain't holding your mouth just right. Alright, so then, I like to pop these up because these are going to be in front of him, and I just want some dimension. Alright, and then, like I said, you're just going to line it up like that. And then you have this one. Alright, so then you have all your clovers built, and then you're just going to do your hands. And I like to pop them up since, you know, if he was actually holding his little hands up, they would be more 3D, I guess, versus, you know, being flat and the clovers up more. So, I don't know what the correct word is per se. But on this one, if you was looking at the picture, you would know his little hand goes right there on top of this clover. And then the other one goes up here in what's the white spot that's left on that clover. So then we have pretty much all of it built except for his face and his nose on. Okay, so then next, I like to, y'all know I like to add the little cheeks. Give him some rosy cheeks. So I just use this decorating chalk. It's 1,000,000 years old. And I just take one of these little finger daubers, rub it in it, and then I blow it off a little bit. This is the piece that's going to go on top of this one. So we'll rosy cheek this one. And then I like to just take my finger and wipe some of it off to blend it in. Alright, so then I like to add, y'all know I like to add the little extras. And so I'm going to give him some whiskers. And I don't know how well you can see the whiskers in this one. But he does have little whiskers. And I just used clear fishing line to do the whiskers with. I got my husband's fishing rod and just pulled some string off of it. Some of the line off to use. And then cut it down. So then pretty much, let's see, it's going to go this way. I just poked 3 holes in to run the whiskers through, because you know 3 is my favorite number and, you know, the perfect number when you're working in the rule of threes, to make things look good. So I'm just poking 3 little holes on each side, and then how I like to do it is I just take some washi tape and I'll just pull a little piece off, and I like to rip it in half and then rip it again so that it would technically fit on the back of this. And then I just stick it to my table for a minute so that I'm not trying to pull it off while I'm holding everything in. And then I just have my 6 little pieces already here of my fishing line that I've already cut. And I know you probably can't, I don't think it's probably showing up on camera. But I just thread it through the little holes. And I just use my finger to hold it in the back while I'm putting the other sides through. Very carefully. And I try to just turn all the whiskers downwards. You can fix it a little bit after it's taped in, and you can always give him a trim, of course, so it's okay if they're a little bit long. It just gives you a little more to work with. So I'm going to put this one in. My one's falling out on the other side already. That one just went right through. So, like I said, this one's a little more time consuming. The biggest part when you're doing all of these, like bulk, making them, it's time consuming just to wait for all the pieces to cut out on the Cricut. So then after I have them in, I just be careful and flip it over. And then I pull some of them. Well, I pulled that one out too all the way. Uh-oh, let me stick it back in. I like to pull it out just a little bit so that it's not like bulked up on the back, because we're just going to tape it and then glue it, and we don't want it sticking everywhere. So I just make sure all the little whiskers are turned the way I want them, like that. And then I just take my washi tape. Now, there's other ways you could totally do this. This is just my way that I found personally is easier for me to hold it on there. So then I just take another piece and I just press it down so that it's got a good hold on all of them. And then voila, you have your little whiskers in the face. I don't know, I can't see y'all, so hopefully it's good and showing up. So then you're gonna just take this and just glue, and be, you know, generous with the glue. And of course I use Barely Art because I love the little bitty tip. It's a game changer for when you're doing things like this because it's such a small tip. You don't have a big glue mess and glue residue, because even though it dries clear, it does leave a mess that you can't get off, and it gets a little icky because if, you know, you've had the piece around and it has glue residue on it, and then you stick it in with the other ones and then you handle it some, it starts picking up all the stuff, so then you have like a little dirty spot on your piece, and it's sad, especially if you put a lot of work into it. You know, you don't want to do anything to mess it up because you want to keep it pretty and use it. So I like to keep it clean glue wise. Okay, so then I just gave him a little trim, trimmed his whiskers shorter. You could leave them longer, you totally could. And so then I like to put his little mouth on. And you know, I'm wondering, that's what I thought. Normally I would not glue this. Let's see if I can still pull it off without messing it up. Yay, I can. I remembered I did do it this way the first couple times, but I wanted to add some foam tape in behind this one just to pop his little face up more and give it a little more dimension. And I could do it to the other part, but I like it being done to this one. So that, because even though these pieces look the same, it has this one little extra, his bottom of his mouth is what that's supposed to be. So I like to just add dimension in between them. Alright, so then I'm going to add glue to this and glue it back on. And just line it up with his little mouth on the bottom of the face that we glued on. Press it down for a minute and hold it. And then I like to take foam tape and pop his little nose up. So even though it went through the ugly phase and all that, y'all can see it comes out a super cute little mouse ready to test his luck. And then, y'all know, the only thing left for me to do is add my embellishments. So I like to use my jelly roll pen, and I just take and draw in all my little details. So, you know, you can do as much or as little as you want with this. I like to just draw some lines, and then I just draw some little dots just to, you know, give it a little more character. And I feel like it really does add a lot to it. So, and then this one, I'll put the dots at the bottom. And then for the clovers, I just go around and treat it kind of like it's a heart, but I don't close in the bottom. Now you totally could. Like I said, you can draw as much or as little as you want. You don't have to draw it all if you don't want to. I just feel like this helps set your pieces apart. It gives them more detail, more dimension. You know, especially normally we can't be adding all this foam tape and all that to bulk them up and give them dimension because of them being mini swaps. So you have to just add dimension with your pen and stuff. That was the hardest thing when I started ginger swaps, was not making them 3D and using foam tape, having to make them flat for mailing. That was a big change for me because I love my dimension. So, alright, and then I'm going to just do his little nose. I like to go back and forth a little bit. And then where his whiskers are, I like to just go over it with my white pen and make the little dots there, to just, so that it helps highlight that they're there. And then the last thing that I did was I just took some of this bling that I have and I just added one to the clover on his hat, just to give it a little something extra. So pretty much that is that done. Y'all know the drill. If you leave a comment on this video, you will be entered to win one of these. I will do the drawing for it on the last day of the month when I do all the other drawings. I'll leave a link below with all my current giveaways going for all the different embellishments, memory decks, etc. that I have giveaways for. And just leave me a comment for a chance to enter. So I hope you will be inspired to try to make some of these yourself if you own a cutting machine. Cadoodlebug, Cuddly Cute Designs, Treasure Box Designs, Marjorie Ann Designs, and Little Scraps of Heaven Designs all offer free cut files. Of course they sell them, but they do have free ones for you to try. They usually change them out either weekly or monthly depending on which site you go on to. So it's totally worth it to go over there, get some free files, try it out, see what you like, play around, make it as big or as small as you would like. They also have print options for these, where you can just print it out and then cut it. So if you have a brother scan and cut, you could totally do that and not do each individual piece. You could just print it and let it cut around it, or you could print it and fussy cut it. The options are endless. They really are. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and until next time, bye y'all.